Welcome back to the Times of Kenya. So one and only Professor Mr. Herman MANYORA had this to say about the Mr. Gachagua impeachment case.
You can also fight to prove a point. You can also fight so that you don't give your opponent the pleasure of walking off laughing and enjoying that he has crushed you. But there are big ideals for which he can fight. He can fight for the Constitution. Because there are many people, I included, I'm sure you are included. We want to stretch our Constitution and see the limit. Let's see how it can go. We want to look at our laws. We are looking at our lawyers. Is it just the English and the good suits, or there's something about them? We want to see something among our lawyers. They say jurisprudence. We want to see it to grow. We want the law to grow. We want to see
our judges.
Can our judges stand for this country? Can they stand for the Constitution? Can they work without fear or favor? I understand the Chief Justice today is meeting the President on the matters of intimidation of the judges over this. We want to see how far can the judges withstand the heat from State House. This is what is seeing. There can be no better time to be alive in Kenya than now.
That's all good
so
for us
that,
as spectators.
We want to cheer on Gachagua.
It's all good for us as spectators.
Cheer him on. Let him go on. Let him help us see whether our Constitution can be lived.
At what personal costs?
To who? To
Gachagua himself.
The moment you
look at what Dr. Gikonyo said. He said, among the things that you must consider is that even cardiologists now accept that there's something, a condition called broken heart.
Yes.
That you go through such pressure and such disappointment that it actually causes you bodily harm.
But even love causes you such...
Exactly.
So
it's extreme emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are things that happen to us, but the scale varies.
That extreme emotion, we have seen the scale. It has taken Gachagua to hospital.
Yes.
He has been admitted to hospital.
Yes. Who tells you the other opponents are also having it easy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. For him, Gachagua has already seen where this could take him in terms of personal costs.
I want to tell you
So
this.
should he really continue to push
against that? He should continue, and I'm sure he will continue. You've seen a politician in Parliament coming to take oath of his office with oxygen. Yes, God rest his soul. He later passed on. You see, the moment you enter politics, there are certain risks you must be prepared for, including your own health. Let me tell you this. Many of the politicians we have in this world, let's talk about this country, have diseases which you don't need Gikonyo to tell you, which you can directly attribute to the engagement. These are the hazards in politics. Yeah. Including your lifestyle, including developing diabetes because you don't have time to eat. There are many stretches you go through without eating. Then you trigger things in the body and you get diabetes, which you may not have even gotten, like MANYORA got naturally perhaps. So these are the hazards of that profession. It's a profession with hazards. One of them is that your personal health comes second.
There are several critical things to look at concerning these issues. Number one, the fight between the president and the deputy president is basically one of the political things which normally happen. It's a relationship, and when they came together, they had agendas. But if it doesn't work out, obviously there will be infights. And one of them, you've seen how Mr. Gachagua is battling court cases, and even he has gone further to the court of appeal to reject the 3-judge bench which was determined or which was chosen to hear the case. So Mr. Gachagua is fighting this battle, one, to prove opponents wrong. He doesn't want to give the opponents an easy way to take him out. He has done all measures, even by that move he did on the last day during the Senate, because maybe if he was there, he was to be impeached and humiliated in public, but he was sicker that day, and lucky to him, he has survived to this end. So one of them was to give the opponents hard time. Another time, apart from that, not giving the opponent easy time, he was not giving the opponents pleasure at all, because if you give your opponent easy time, he will take you out very easily. Another thing which we have noticed is how the constitution is being expanded and even stretched within its limit. We have seen how the lawyers are putting out the issues there, they are drawing from articles and sub-articles, they are really opening minds of Kenyans. Kenyans have been following this case for the longest time. If you look online, you realize how the numbers and the masses are following this case of Mr. Gachagua, from the Senate, the National Assembly, Senate, up to the High Courts. And now, as Mr. Gachagua team has gone to the Court of Appeal to seek justice, or to say that they are not determined or satisfied with the bench which was chosen of 3 charges who are supposed to hear his case. Another thing is that Another thing we can draw from that, or the lesson we can draw from Professor Herman MANYORA speech, is that politics is a very risky and hard game. We have seen what is happening in the political world. Sometimes in big other economies or other democracies, we have seen politicians being assassinated. We have seen what is happening in Latin America. Even there is that famous quote by George Bush, where he says that I was chosen by people to make very hard decisions, because as a politician, hard decision is one of the key things which you have to take. So as that lesson is being drawn, we can notice that politics is a hard game, and it needs very critical thinking. We have seen you can risk your life. Sometimes it takes even people, you can't eat with certain people because of fear of poisoning, assassinations, and even your lifestyle can even change because you'll be stretched beyond your abilities and certain limits. So those are some of the things which are happening at the moment. So that's it for today. Make sure you keep it at the Times of Kenya.